Ladies and gentlemen, this video is entitled The Digital Gulag, Chinese-style communist censorship comes to the West. Now, for a lot of you, this may not be new. YouTube's been censoring for a long time. So's Facebook, so's Twitter, and you're going to say, well, this is old news. Why are you doing a video about this? Well, I'll tell you what's new. Since the censorship on those digital platforms has been ramped up, and there's been some talk about it, but it's largely been gotten away with because no one's really taken up the fight. But my friend Amazing Polly and a few other people, no one's taken up lawsuits, no one's doing anything about this. They've gone, well, the left never takes that as a win. They go, we'll ramp it up even further. We'll start taking banking away from people that we don't agree with, and we'll completely wipe them off the map. That's why it's called a digital gulag, because once you've been wiped off everywhere digitally, and once you've had your digital banking taken away from you, you no longer exist. That's why they set up the digital system years ago. And I'm not talking about the social media. I'm talking about uh, 30 or 40 years ago with the invention of digital banking and so forth. It was always leading towards this step, to where if they didn't agree with your views, if they didn't agree with who you were, they had the ability to wipe you off the map. That's what it was always leading towards. When people say to me, when these Facebook scandals uh, first came to light about 50 million people's accounts being accessed and everything else, they go, oh my God, we've lost privacy. Well, I got news for you, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't had privacy for 35 to 40 years, ever since the advent of digital banking, digital credit cards, and some such, where they can track where you are, where you've been, what you've purchased, and everything like that. Nothing is private, and nothing has ever been private since the advent of digital banking. It has just got worse. And what they're aiming to do over the next 10 or 20 years, people like George Soros has already talked about it, where they want a cashless society, and they want everyone to have cards with a digital currency on it. While you've got cash, you've got some freedom. If you get cut off certain banks, or you don't want people tracking where you are or what you're purchasing because you don't want to be spied on, you can pay with cash. And to a certain extent, you can escape some of that. But what they can do with a cashless society is they can have 100% guarantee that they can track everything that you're doing, everything that you're buying, and everyone that you socialise with in your groups and everything else. But as soon as a cashless society no longer exists, if they don't agree with your views, your conservative views, or what you're telling the people, or what you're saying against whatever a certain particular government, they can wipe you off completely. They can say, we're no longer providing you with your digital currency, and we're cutting you off, and you can starve to death. Ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake about it. That is what it's leading towards. A social score that's already been in place in the communist China for such a long time. They are aiming to bring. They are aiming to bring to the West, and they're aiming to bring to the West with a cashless society. The way they've brought it to the digital platforms, where if they don't agree with what you're saying, they can ban you off YouTube, they can ban you off Facebook, and ban you off Twitter, and some such. It's the funny thing about the left, isn't it? If they don't agree with what you're saying, they're not prepared to debate because they don't have the brains to back up their arguments with facts. So what do? Oh, we'll just wipe this person off the map, which is what they're doing everywhere. David Horowitz has had his banking eliminated. Laura Loomer's had her banking eliminated. PayPal eliminated. And Patreon eliminated. David Horowitz, MasterCard banned him. It's happening everywhere, folks. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the beauty about what supposedly is meant to be a capitalist free market society is the variety of debate, the variety of opinion. It also is what makes society um, grow and grow and flourish through an amalgamation of ideas. If we don't have ideas and we don't have a debate, society no longer grows, it disintegrates. And that's what we're getting at the moment. We're getting two sides at war uh, that can no longer speak to each other, and therefore we're getting a disintegration of society. And that's exactly what the globalists want, because a disintegrated society in chaos is easier to take down. Now, what classical liberals and what conservatives need to do is they need to start suing class action lawsuits against companies like MasterCard, against companies like YouTube, well, Google, because that's YouTube, and Facebook and Twitter. Because despite what they say, they're not private companies, they're public utilities. They class themselves as public utilities when it suits them. They've classed themselves as public utilities in congressional hearings, but then when they want to ban half the population, they consider themselves a private company. All right. Twitter calls themselves jokingly the town square. They are public utilities. Everyone's on them. And they needed to be treated as such, and they need to be taken to court. And one of the things I'm disappointed about Donald Trump about is he hasn't taken this style of censorship on with racketeering cases and so on and so forth, because if you've noticed, whether you agree with him or not, someone like Alex Jones who gets banned from one platform, he gets banned from all platforms within 24 hours. It's collusion and racketeering, and it must be stopped. And I'm sick to death of people saying, oh, we're in 1984, we're in 1980, 1984 is coming, ladies and gentlemen. It's not coming, we're already here. We're already here. And if you haven't noticed already, it's time to wake up. But I'm going to stop talking now. Thank you very much.